Hi, good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible. So, can someone just confirm? Okay.
Yes, you're
Can
audible.
hear you.
Hi. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Urmi. Great. So, wonderful morning and 14 people on the call. So, I'm sure we'll just start with. I will start with introducing myself, and I know all of you are from the financial services space. So, it's slightly. Just a second. Great. So I know all of you are from the financial services space. So it's slightly difficult sometimes for me or for people like me who want to spread financial awareness and literacy to try and think about topics or try and think about subjects that we might want to cover when we are interacting with someone who is already in the financial services space because um, we're general people, right? We understand the basics of finance. I'm sure my first job was when I was in India. When I came back from US, my first job was with Bajaj Allianz Life Insurance, and we had a. I was young. I was very aggressive. I was very dynamic then. Now I'm not that aggressive anymore. Markets have all drained all my aggression, but the objective of an guy who has joined insurance industry generally is that it's we run the whole show, and I really respect that fact because it's there in me, and I'm still being driven by that force. So the reason I'm quoting that is because when Aditya told me that I have to present it to employees of an insurance broking firm, that to something like an Ideal Insurance, which is probably, I don't know, top three, top five. How do you guys how do you guys brag it? Top five, I'm sure. Help me, guys. It's interactive, so I want you also to speak up. So yeah, I mean, you guys make up a firm that's probably a very big insurance broking firm. There is a lot of things that you understand about finance, and I'm sure there is not much justification that I can do if I try to cover the basics or if I try to cover the topics that you already know of, right? So I've tried to bring in some topics that I'm assuming, right, that are from a different horizon, and probably I'm not saying you don't know. I'm just saying you might have not have the time to explore it till now. And my job is just to direct you in those ways so that when you are in that conscious decision making effort for your own personal finances or for your friends and family, you just look at those horizons as well, right? So guys, it's going to be absolutely interactive. You can unmute yourself. You're free to go ahead and stop me, talk to me, whatever you guys feel comfortable with. And you can also use the chat box if you think texting or typing would be comfortable for you. So, not wasting much of the time, my name is Emmanuel Suraj. I'm the business head for A3D Capital. We are an insurance distribution and we would like to say a wealth management kind of a firm. We are basically into, the core services are mutual fund distribution. We are your partners. We distribute your general and life insurance products. And apart from that, we have something called the Together Investing Club, which is an investors community. I have almost 9 years of active experience in active decision making in the stock markets. I have experience in the US. I have done 17 months of internship at the Wall Street, at Broadway with Fidelity, and I've covered my major domain has been equity, but I've covered reinsurance for a very small tenure with Allianz. That's a German. I'm sure you guys know. And I've also covered a short tenure with the bond markets. But my major forte, or I'm married to equity, if you would like to say it that way. So let's go ahead and explore, some things that we'll be going ahead and doing, and it will be absolutely great if some of you who might want to can turn their videos on. It's great to talk to you than talking to this computer. Trust me. And it will be absolutely great if you can unmute yourself and if you could participate if you want to, if you feel that there is something you would want to share, or if there is something that you would want further clarity in, more than welcome, right? So I don't want it to be a monologue. I don't want to be at a platform and you guys on the other side of it. Just go ahead and feel free. Let's discuss it out. There might be some insights that you might have better than me, right? It's all, life is all about experiences. If I've not been to a city, no matter how many YouTube channels I watch, I cannot explain it better than someone who has been to that city, right? So I try to cover topics that I have personally explored and that I have personally ventured into for my clients directly or for me or in any synergy. So not taking much of your time, let's just directly go ahead with what we're going to cover today. Well, that's me. That's my email address. You can always get back to me for any. So most of the times we're mostly available on WhatsApp or email. Calls are a slightly difficult scenario. So my email address is there. Aditya's phone number and Aditya's details. You can always. I'm sure you guys, most of you have it, but you can always connect with Aditya as well, right? So today we'll be talking about route to financial freedom. Why is this topic so important? I'm assuming most of us are employees, like I am. And the problem with employees, the number one problem with employees is the moment we hit 45, the moment we hit 50, we don't want to work for someone else, right? But the problem is by the time we're 45, by the time we're 50, we don't realize that it's too late to start a business sometimes, especially in an ecosystem like India, or especially in a competitive scenario like today's. So I want to create a funnel, or I want to create a platform that ensures that after a certain age, after a certain time that we've spent in the active income stream, or after a certain time that we've spent in these areas, we have a cushion, we have a safety net. And even if we want to jump off the corporate India, or if we want to jump off the corporate jobs that we're doing, there is something that holds on, right? Because most of the people who come to me are people who are in their 50s, early 50s, or late 40s. And when they start talking about investments, or they start talking about financial management, there is not much scope left, right? So you cannot come to a doctor with fourth stage, third stage disease, and you can say, okay, let's restart life. It's not a video game, right? So for those of us who are young, who are in early 20s, late 20s, early 30s, even late 30s, it's a beautiful time to start thinking in that process, to start thinking 20 years down the line, 25 years down the line, right? And if something wrong happens, or if you're no more, I know you guys know better, insurance is always there to cover our family up, right? But let's talk about a scenario where we survive, where we live, and what are we going to do 20 years from now, 15 years from now? How is our lifestyle going to look? How are our finances going to look? What happens if I am obsolete, right? Tomorrow technology comes in, and whatever I do, stock picking that I do, in US it's already happening. Quantitative machines are, or computer is trying to figure out what a portfolio should be. If it happens in India, I lose my job, right? But that doesn't mean I should lose my lifestyle. That doesn't mean I should lose my dal chawal or my things like that. So going back, so like I said, I really tried to explore, and I came up with some topics that will be really effective. Uh, I'm assuming that you already know a bit of financial world, you know, products and things like that. So the first thing we'll be talking about is high income skills, because the entire investment management or the entire investment planning, whenever you sit with anyone, whenever I sit with anyone, is how much do you make? How much do you make in a year? How much do you take home? Right? Because that determines that one number, how much you take or how much you make, is the number that will define everything else in the system, right? It will define how much you can spend. It will define how much you can invest. It will define how much money goes out, for your parents or your family. How much support system are you able to shred out, and things like that. So the first thing we'll be discussing is high income skill. Then we will be discussing cash flow management. How exactly should the money that comes into our account flow, right? Generally, people don't do much about it, especially people like us who are probably working 10, 12 hours a day and 6, 7 weeks a day, I'm sure. So we don't have time to think about our own finances. We don't have time to do our own budget. We don't have time to do things like that. So what I will be doing is I'll be creating I'll show you automated sheets that I'll be sharing with Aditya. They're all free of cost. They're on Google Sheets. You can download them. You can use them with your Google Sheets. You can integrate your bank accounts with them, right? And they will do budgeting for you. You don't have to do it yourself. They will do the budgeting for you. They're smart sheets, and it's all I do it all for fun. So I'm willing to share it with all of you freely, right? So then we come to tax planning. I'm sure all of you know about ATC. All of you know about ATCCG and different levels of tax planning. But I'm just here to show off how exactly does tax planning help, and what do I mean by tax planning from the wealth space, right? Then we'll be talking about investing. We'll be talking about buy spending, wealth maximization models, avenues of investments, and road to a crore. So 1 crore is the first target that we'll be trying to achieve today, and we will just see of whether is it difficult, is it easy, or is it not possible, or is it absolutely possible for people who are from different age groups, different streams, different. I might have a high income, but I might also have a lot of dependence, right? Or I might not have dependence, but I might have a high income, but I might have different wants or different ways of spending. So money is very personal for everyone, right? So for Urmi, her money is her money, right? She doesn't want anyone telling her what to do with her. For Anirudh, probably his money is his money, right? Money is very personal. It's as personal as it gets. So sometimes I just joke about it. If just taking a case study, if an individual's net worth is 3 crore rupees, right, and if he invests 1 crore rupee with me, it's as good as marrying his daughter to me, right? That's how personal money gets sometimes. So the objective is money is very personal, and because it is so personal, there are infinite permutations and combinations to all these discussions that we might want to have, right? And ideally, these discussions done in one-to-one basis or a personal basis are the best resulting in. But let's go ahead and quickly jump into what do I mean by earning, right? So there are only two things that we can do with money. We can either save money or we can spend money. There is absolutely nothing else you can do with money, right? Let me know if someday you find out that there is a better or there is a third alternative. You can either invest, save, that one and the same thing for a novice, and you can either spend. You can buy assets, you can buy liabilities, or you can buy covers or whatever you want to do, right? So they say mindset into skill set is equal to income. So we will have to keep working on both our mindset and skill set. So the first activity that I generally ask people to do is, if you're not in a high income skill, there is the per capita income of India. If you're not in the first 10% of the per capita of India, just go ahead and Google what are high income skills, right? And my two high income skills are sales and stock markets, right? People and markets. These are the two high income skills that I focus on, and I'm trying to build others, but they're at a very nascent state, right? So you should at least have three high income skills with yourself, right? So when we're talking about earning, and earning is directly proportional to the number of high income skills you have, right? So one of the high income skills, for example, in today's generation is digital marketing. It's absolutely a turnaround for people because it's the need of the hour. Everybody wants their ads to be on social media. Everybody want their ads to be on Instagram and Google ads and things like that, right? So content creation and digital marketing is one of the latest high income skill. One of the oldest is sales, of course. There is no better high income skill than sales, right? And I'm sure most of you are from that background. Sales is a high income skill. We are like the warriors of a country, right? Sales guys are the warriors of a country. So we will have to understand that high income skills are directly proportional to earnings, and earnings are directly proportional to how things are, right? Now, very quickly, we will cover all this, and then finally we will go to the tangible things. We will go to things that you can actually do in life tomorrow onwards, right? So the key to entire financial planning is income, of course, and the more value you add to a firm, right? Value here simply means solving problems. So why do I have Aditya in my team? Because there is some problem that he solves that I cannot solve all by myself. I don't have the time, or I don't have the bandwidth, or I don't have the skill set to be able to solve that problem. So whenever someone comes to me for a job interview, or whenever we try to hire someone, it's very difficult to hire someone. Trust me, you generally don't find great people working for you, or coming in and giving their resumes to you. But if you find someone who comes up and says, you know what, Milind, I'm going to solve a problem for you. Or, you know what, Aditya, I'm going to solve a problem for you. You're not going to say no to them, right? So it's directly proportional to what quantum of problems are you solving in an organization, and are you ready to take more problems? Are you ready to take problems that you cannot solve today, but given the time and effort, you can solve them tomorrow for the organization, right? Then we come down to tax or tax planning. Again, ATC, ATCCD, ATD. I'm not paying much stress. How I plan my taxes is very simple. It's from you guys. For my ATC, I use a ULIP. I do 12,500 every month in a ULIP, and I do an NPS. So that's 2 lakhs saved, and then a general insurance. That's how I do it. I'll also show you on the diagram of how exactly I do it. But I think you guys know all this. But there is a concept behind it that probably I would want to pay more focus towards, right? So 50% of our income is taxed directly or indirectly. So planning the taxes, both direct and indirect, become very, very crucial when we're talking about wealth maximization, right? So there is a hack. Generally, people take away from it. My hack is all your taxes should be planned on a monthly basis, because all your income is planned on a monthly basis. Trust me, I'm an employee. I get revenues month on month basis. I also pay my taxes month on month basis, or at least park that money somewhere else so that it's not in my bank account and I don't end up spending it. Because what I've generally seen with the working class is we end up paying all our tax liabilities or end up paying all our tax exemptions or tax planning strategies on at March, or let's say 1 month before March. And after March, we're left with nothing. March, May, most of the people end up with no stream of money, or they end up with nothing in their banks. And the problem is because they don't plan it on month basis. So if you're getting paid every month, your tax planning should also be every month, right? So for those people who buy things on monthly, for example, I have a ULIP on monthly basis. I have a I don't think my general is on monthly basis, but all those things are on monthly basis so that I can plan them on a monthly basis. So come down to the microest time frame because you're paid in the microest time frame. And there are some clients that we have in US and Canada, they paid weekly. I asked them to do it weekly, right? And it's just a one-time effort, right? I think I gave Aditya one check and the 12,500 just gets deducted by itself. I just have to take care that I'm not overspending a particular month and the money is still there, right? So try to split it down into a monthly kind of thing. Then finally we come to investing. The first thing you have to do is pay yourself. Now, I know you would have heard a lot. You would have read a lot of books that say pay yourself. You would have heard a lot of people say pay yourself first. But what does it actually mean? So when I heard this term pay yourself first, I was like, मतलब क्या करूँ? एक अलग बैंक अकाउंट खोल के उसमें ट्रांसफर करना शुरू कर दूँ? Should I open a alternate bank account and start transferring? What does it actually mean? It simply means invest in your future. So when you say pay yourself first, invest in your future. What does it mean? Educate yourself, create assets for yourself, and spend on some relationships that are very critical for you. If I take my team for lunch today, I don't count it as an expense. I count it as an investment because it's relationship building with my team, right? If I take my fiance for a grand dinner, I don't count it as an expense. I count it as an investment because it's to build a relationship, right? But all that should be budgeted. All that should be in your budget. I will show how we budget as well, right? So pay yourself first. The moment you get a salary, you will have to invest. Where can you invest? You can buy education for yourself. You can buy new skill sets. You can buy trainers who give you the skill set. Learn from people who are already doing it. There are fake teachers and there are real teachers. Fake teachers are people who are only talking theories. Real teachers are people who do what they say, who do exactly, who tell you, I do this, so I think you should do it, but there are other ways of doing it as well, right? So look out for real teachers, align with them. There are international, national, domestic. Aajkal to coaching is the next business, right? So just look at coaches who are ready to share real life examples with you, or invest in assets. Buy a rented property, buy an insurance that pays back, buy a mutual fund that pays back. We will come down to all this, right? And then finally, relationships. Invest as much as you can and as early as you can, right? This is the catch of the century. This is the catch of your life. If you invest as much as you can and as early as you can, you will never be short on your net worth. You will never be short on how much money you want to make, right? So it's very amazing of how automating your investments, right? And automating your investment cycles, automating your investment products really helps. Do not hire an investment manager until it grows big enough, right? So then a lot of people come and ask me, what does big enough mean? Big enough is if your monthly income is, let's say, 1 lakh rupees and you do not have 5 lakh rupees to invest, do not hire a manager. Do not hire me, do not hire Aditya, do not hire anyone. The first job is to have 6 to 5 months of your salary or 6 to 5 months of your income as disposable investment. When I say disposable investment, it simply means the money should be lying in an investment asset, no matter what it is, for at least 3 to 5 years. And you should not be taking any penny out of it, right? So automate your investments. Do not hire any manager until it grows big enough, right? Invest for wealth maximization and not wealth generation, right? So do not put your army into, or do not put your money into, wealth generation. Do not say I'm giving 1 rupee and I should get back 10 cents. I should get back 20 paisa out of it. That's how you're killing the proposition, or that's how you're killing it's like planting a mango tree in a bonsai pot. It will never grow big enough to give you mangoes, right? So invest for wealth maximization. If you spend before you're investing, you will never be able to invest. The hack is very simple. Dedicate a percentage amount from your income and invest it forever. So for example, my rule book is I invest 30% of whatever I earn. So if Aditya gives me a birthday gift of 1,000 rupees in an envelope, or if I go to my nani's house or my dadi's house and she gives me 1,000 rupees in an envelope, 300 goes into an investment. तो जितनी भी मेरी इनकम आती है उसका 30% इन्वेस्ट होता है हर साल. और ये आज का नहीं, पिछले it's a rule that I've put on myself six years ago, and it's It has absolutely helped me, right? So for example, Warren Buffett says the best way to teach someone, your kids, about tax is eat the ice cream, have a bite out of the ice cream before you give the ice cream to your kid, right? And they learn what tax planning is, right? In the same way, what I do is I plan taxes every month, but I also have a percentage amount of my income that goes into investments forever. They never come out, right? Now, a lot of you would say, okay, what do you do with it? When will you take it out and things like that? We'll just plan it out, right? Then we come down to spending, right? It's very simple. If you want to spend more, increase your income first, right? Income doesn't lie. If you want to buy something, you cannot afford it, don't lie to yourself. Don't use that credit card. Don't take that personal loan. Don't take that loan against property or loan against gold or anything like that. So if you want to spend more, just increase your income. The best way to increase income is, again, high income skills. Look at your high income skills, right? Never borrow, because whenever you're borrowing from a future. Any cash flow that you take out for a loan is negative. You will have to give back more money than you get, right? So the only home loan you should probably have, the only loan you should have is a home loan, right? Everything else is basically a trap. You're basically borrowing from yourself in the future. Live below your means, never spend more than 30% of your income and things like that. Let's directly jump into this chart, or this graph that I've just made, and let's see what does it want to say, right? So what I'm trying to say through this chart is, or this representation, all the purple lines are the lines that you cannot avoid. You will have to go through all these things in your life, right? All the red lines are something that you should absolutely not do. And all the green lines are things that you must do. There is no alternative to it. You will have to do these green things if you actually want to live a better life. If you actually want to live a life that is absolutely going to be rewarding for you, right? Irrespective of how much money you make, irrespective of how much are you taking home, irrespective of what kind of assets do you want to own, irrespective of what kind of lifestyle you live, you will have to do these green lines in order to live a better life, right? So the first thing is income. Nothing is possible without income. I have a lot of young people that I'm mentoring, and the first thing they ask is how to get rich quick. And I say there is nothing like that, right? There is no magic wand that can make you rich. It is a consistent effort. It takes decades. It takes at least 3 decades for you to transition from one platform to another to start being calling rich, or start being calling that I have enough surplus कि अब इतने पैसों से फर्क नहीं पड़ता, kind of a mentality, right? So if you have an income, the problem is inflation will start acting on your income from day one, right? So for example, if probably Digvijay could buy 100 chocolates for his kids today for 100 rupees, the next year he can only buy 90 chocolates for 100 rupees. That's inflation, as simple as that. But will his kids be satisfied with 90 chocolates when they've got 100? Never. They would want 110, they would want 120, they would at least want 100 chocolates. So the problem with income is inflation is the first thing that acts on our income. Now what we can do with income is we can either pay taxes. So the red line is paying taxes and the green line is planning taxes. So use ATC, use ATCCD, use Section 24, whatever you want to use, right? And when you plan your taxes, the money goes into investment. When you don't plan your taxes, it's an expense, right? So income tax, when it's planned, it's an investment. When it's not planned, it's an expense. Now, expenses are fixed, event, variable, all those things. There is a lot of behavioral economics and a behavioral finance behind it. But my ideal objective is there is expense. You cannot avoid expense. That is why it's a purple. You will have to live in a house. You will have to eat food. You will have to buy a car. You will have to buy a bike. You will have to buy clothes. These things are unavoidable, right? But what is the problem? The problem is when we take a loan to add something to our income to spend, right? The problem is you're borrowing from your future wealth because you're giving interest stress principal back to the person or an institution or an organization or a bank that is giving you loan, right? So the left side of it, once done, then let's come to the right side of it. Once you've planned your taxes, you invest. For the people who have planned it better, they can invest directly as well. So टैक्स प्लानिंग से अगर हम 2 लाख रुपए इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं साल का, या अगर हम 2.5 लाख रुपए इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं साल का, we can go further ahead and invest more money into the investment accounts or more money into investment assets, right? What happens is when investments, interest acts on investments, we get returns, which is again added into income, right? So if you take the screenshot of this cycle, income, tax planning, investment, or income, investment, return into income, this is called the cycle of wealth maximization. So when I say cycle of wealth maximization, what I mean is your income from your active sources and your returns from your investment when they're clubbed. And now you apply the same rule on this clubbed income, that is from returns as well as active income, that now out of this, I will spend 30%, I will pay 30% as taxes, and I will invest 30% back into my financial system. And 10% is for my luxuries, 10% is for my travel, 10% is that dinner I want to take my fiance on, 10% is I take my team for a lunch, 10% is I make an upgrade on my car, or I wanted to buy a normal OnePlus, but I want to upgrade to an iPhone. That is how you use those 10%, right? So the objective is you will have to follow these green lines in order to create wealth maximization, right? And when you invest, make sure you're not investing into wealth erosion activities like gambling. You do not hit a casino. Thank God, Calcutta is absolutely the opposite side of Goa, or probably, things like that. We don't have casinos all across India, but yes, there are betting instruments available online as well. But gambling and stock speculation are the wealth erosion, factors that people misunderstand to be investments. So what are investments? Investments are very simple. They're wealth generating investments like rental assets or bonds. There are wealth accumulation investments like PPF, RD, and SIP in a debt or a bond mutual fund. And then there are wealth maximization investments like secondary equity, private equity, and SIP in equity investments, right? We should focus on wealth maximization, especially when we are into employee grades, right? Wealth accumulation and wealth generation is generally for people who have a lot of surplus cash coming in and they just want to diversify out of their business. If you're an employee, we should focus on wealth maximization, right? So now very quickly, what I'll be doing is, this is all theoretical, I understand. So we will come down to the practical side of it, right? So where to invest? I'm sure there's a normal slide. We'll be sharing the slide deck with you. I hope Aditya will be sharing it with you. There is ATC, ELSS, ULIP, and all these things. I'm sure you're aware about it. I will not spend a minute here. And then we come down to how much return happens when how much investment have you done. I will take you directly to the fundamental side of it, or to how exactly does something happen, right? So now what I'm doing is, I'm taking, let's say, Mr. Swami, right? Let's just assume there is someone, Mr. Swami, and he's just started working, right? He's 20 years old and he started working. As per Harvard Business Review, or as per Harvard Business Research, an individual like me or like Kamal, we will work for 40 years, right? If we start at 20, we retire at 60. If we start at 25, we retire at 65. That's how many years ideally someone works, especially in Southeast Asia, especially in India, China, Japan, and all these economies. 40 years is an ideal age that someone works, right? So now what I'm assuming is someone who starts investing 10,000 rupees every month. बहुत मुश्किल है कुछ लोगों के लिए, मुझे पता है, right? This is an assumption, right, that I'm taking. So let's say someone is able to invest 10,000 rupees every month for 40 years, right? And let's say they do not want to understand how the world of investing works, right? So they are able to make 12% if they do not understand how the world of investing works. And if they invest 10,000 rupees every year every month for 40 years, and for at 12% interest, they make somewhere around 1 cent, 1,000, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakh, crore, 10 crore, 11 crore rupees. Now, this is someone who does not understand how the stock market works. Now, I'll just be using my iPad to sketch it out. So there will be some lag between my screen and what I want to do. So just excuse me for that part. Okay, let's look at something. Let's look at something that is called, how exactly do we segregate between someone who wants to do wealth maximization and someone who is into the story, right? Okay, so very quickly, can you see a blue line on the screen? Okay, it was working so far.
Not yet.
Not yet. Let's just try it again.
No.
Okay, let me just try. So I used to use a different whiteboard and it would work really well. Then the whiteboard got bought by this giant called Miro, and now I have to deal with them, or I have to try and understand of how they work. See, sometimes we just become obsolete. That's why we need assets, so that even if we do, the incomes don't die up. Okay, please refresh. Murphy's law. What can go wrong will go wrong. Let me just try one last time. Okay, I'm wondering if people are still joining in, what are they going to get? Anyways, let's try a different way. Okay, now you should be able to see my screen if I'm not wrong, my iPad screen. Guys?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So where there is a will, there is a way. Okay, so now very quickly, I'm going to show you two differences between how does wealth maximization work for someone who understands investing world or who understands stock markets peculiarly or businesses peculiarly, and someone who does not understand the things, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to draw a graph for you, right? So for example, this is the net worth or this is the money on your on your y-axis, and this is the time on your x-axis, right? So I hope it's visible now. So now it will be on real basis because I have just projected my iPad screen on for you. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to draw how markets work, right? So first let's try and draw how bond markets work or how a fixed deposit works. So if I want to a fixed deposit, this is how a fixed deposit should look, right? Okay. Okay, right? So it's a straight line that is compounding. 100 rupees become 110, then 110 become 100 rupees ka 10 rupees ka interest plus 10 rupees ka 10 paise ka interest, right? So this is how a bond works, a fixed FD works, or an LIC investment works, or an endowment policy works. This is how generally they work if you try to plot them, unless you're trying to take the surrender value. That will be way less, right? And let's say how the stock markets work. Stock markets work very simply. They go up and down in cycles, right? Very simple. If you look at the Nifty 50 chart and you go on the monthly chart and you try and open it up, I'll just show you the Nifty 50 chart as well. This is how the stock markets work. What I can do is, if I think I am wise enough, right? And if I can go ahead and segregate the market into highs and lows, right? So this is the market on. So if you see, then this is where the market is going down. This is where the market is going up. This is where the market is going up, right? So if I distribute the market into highs and lows, and I say Digvijay is amazing, he knows absolutely when the market is going to fall, and he knows absolutely when the market is going to go up, right? Now, what is the secret sauce? The secret sauce is to be able to move with the market. How does Digvijay move with the market? Very simple. When the market goes up, he sits in the market. When the market starts going down, he moves all his assets into fixed deposits or into fixed instruments. Again, when the market starts going up, he moves into markets. And when the markets start going down, he moves back into fixed instrument. Now, because you guys are from the insurance background, tell me which product is the best product to do this switching. Which product helps you does this without any charges, without any problem, without any problems, or without any, you don't even need to call someone to be able to do this. कौन सा product है insurance में ऐसा? Any idea? Any guesses? जो आपको इक्विटी और बॉन्ड्स के बीच में स्विच करने देता है, गाइस?
Yes, none.
Yeah, okay. It's not none, it's a ULIP, right? In a ULIP, you can switch between equity and debt without any charges, without calling anyone, without use of any person like me. You can directly log in and you can choose your own funds that you want to choose, right? So that's why my ATC goes to ULIP. All my ATC since last 9 years, all my ATC is in ULIP. And when I tell Aditya एक और ULIP लेना है, he just scratches his head कि सर कर क्या रहे हैं, क्यों खरीदते इतना ULIP? Because it gives me insurance, that's okay, but it gives me the freedom to move between debt and equity whenever I want to, right? So now just take a random guess. So let's say how much return और how much return do you think a fixed deposit gives आज की डेट में? LIC का इंटरनल रेट ऑफ रिटर्न या एंडोमेंट पॉलिसी का रेट ऑफ रिटर्न क्या चल रहा है? या फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मैं एक बैंक में जाके एफडी कराता हूं तो आज की डेट में बेस्ट रेट क्या चल रहा है? एनी गेसेस?
5 5.5 चल रहा है।
अच्छा ठीक है,
5%.
तो अगली बार कोई 5 देना ना तो उससे मत कराना. कम टू अस, द बेस्ट वी कैन ऑफर यू इज 7%, right, on a 3-year lock-in FD. If 1 year के बाद you can redeem however, but 7% is the best. Okay. Now let's say somebody says FD में तो नहीं लगाना अपने को, मैं मार्केट में लगाऊंगा पैसा, पर मेरे को सीखना भी नहीं है मार्केट कैसे काम करता है. मार्केट नीचे जाएगी तो मैं मार्केट के साथ नीचे जाऊंगा, and if market starts going up, I'll go up with the market. Okay. How much money will this Mr. Green make? Any idea? Any guesses? Let's say 10 years historically or 12 years historically, how much percentage of compounding has he done year on year?
In 10 years, maybe in the range of 11.5 or 12%.
Exactly. So 12%. चलो मतलब होमवर्क करके आए हैं लोग यहाँ पे, ऐसा लग रहा है. Anyways, so 12% is the ideal return that the markets will give if you've invested over a horizon of 5 to 10 years. And this is a historical case study, right? Emerging markets will give you 12%. If there is a non-emerging market like the United States, लंदन की बात नहीं करते, दुबई की बात नहीं करते, what other economy can I talk about? Okay, South Korea, these will give you somewhere around 7.58%. India should give you 12%, at least for next 10-20 years, as far as our inflation and our interest rates are where they are, or even if they move slightly here and there, it should be able to give you 12%. Now, any guesses how much Mr. Purple will make by simply moving between equity and debt?
15?
Absolutely right. So Mr. Purple will make 15%, even if he is late by a month. इसका मतलब क्या है? मार्केट को गिरने हुए 1 महीना हो गया और मार्केट को उठने के बाद 1 महीना हो गया. अगर मिस्टर पर्पल 1 महीना लेट है तो भी हिस्टोरिकली वो 15% बनाते हैं. ओके, तो बैंग ऑन उसी दिन सही होना जरूरी नहीं है कि 24 मार्च 2020 को मार्केट का लो था तो उसी दिन मैं डेट से इक्विटी में आया. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है. आप थोड़ा सा लेट भी अगर हो गए तो 15% बना सकते हैं. Now, people can make as much money as they want depending on how much or how well are they able to do this, right? So, for example, if someone is able to do it absolutely great and someone is able to move absolutely great, or if someone simply buys a stock that goes very great, then they're able to make somewhere between 20 to 22% year on year. So all these ace investors like Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, Damani ji, Vijay Kedia, Warren Buffett, they are people who have made 20+%. They are people who have made 20+% year on year for a very long time. Okay. Now this is possible only if you understand the markets. So 7% is someone who does not understand the market. 12% is someone who does not understand the markets but takes risk. 15% is someone who understands the markets and takes calculated risk. 20 to 22% is someone who understands the market, takes the risk, and also understands the risk. रिस्क को लेना और रिस्क को समझना भी दो अलग चीजें, राइट? एज सिंपल एज दैट. नाउ आई एम नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग कि तुम सब अपनी नौकरियां छोड़ के इस कैटेगरी में आ जाओगे. ऐसा होने ही नहीं वाला. आई हैव ट्राइड दैट फॉर अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल. एवरीवन गिव्स अप ऑन मी. आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग यू टू ट्रांजिशन from 7% to 15% or from 12% to 15% as soon as possible in your life, right? Now why do I want this from you is very simple. Let's go ahead and see why do I want this from you. Okay, so for someone who was investing at 12%, 10,000 rupees for 40 years makes how much? Ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakh, crore, 10 crore, 11 crore rupees. ठीक है, सबसे पहले तो लोग कहते हैं इससे ज्यादा चाहिए ही नहीं हमें. पर प्रॉब्लम क्या है, उनको ये नहीं पता कि इन्फ्लेशन की वजह से ये 11 करोड़ जो आज दिख रहे हैं ये उस टाइम पे 11 करोड़ नहीं होंगे. ये बहुत कम होंगे और ये स्लाइटली कम होंगे, राइट? So let's come to someone who understands the stock markets. So I'll just show you the formula also that I'm using so that if you want to do this math back at home, you can use it. So when I do 15%, it suddenly becomes 31 crores. Ones, tens, hundred, thousand, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakh, crore, 10 crore. Simply the difference of taking, no risk. I'm just writing no risk because you're investing in the Indian economy, right? No risk, yes risk. Okay. And let's say somebody comes up and learns how the markets work, and with time is able to compound their money by 18% year on year. Oh, I'm sorry. Right? 84 crores. Now, this is a phenomena that we call learning the markets. Whether you want to learn how the markets work, whether you want to learn how to invest, whether you want to learn how things happen or not. Right? Then we come down to the second factor, whether, let's say, I want to invest today, or I want to invest tomorrow, or I want to invest day after tomorrow. आज मेरे को इन्वेस्ट करना है कि नहीं करना. अपने को आज आईफोन लेना ज्यादा जरूरी है, अपने को आज वो गाड़ी लेना ज्यादा जरूरी है, right? So do we want to invest or do we want to accumulate liabilities? What I'm assuming is, I'm assuming you have learned the markets, right? You've already come down to this level. Okay, अभी तक load नहीं हुआ है. Thank God मैंने iPad पे check किया. Let's say you have come down to a level where you have already learned the market. So I'm assuming you are making 15% every year, right? Why HDFC Life Sanchay Plus? Okay, right? Now what you can do is, let's go ahead and see if someone invests 5 years later. Okay, someone invests 5 years later. Someone says, मैं अभी कॉलेज से निकला हूँ, अभी नौकरी लगी है, अगले 5 साल में इन्वेस्ट नहीं करने वाला. I am only going to enjoy my life, right? So 5 years after they start investing, from 31 crores they come down to 14 crores. And even if they increase the investment, they say मैं 15,000 रुपए महीना इन्वेस्ट करूंगा, still 22 crores. They're still not making 31 crores, right? Okay, let's come down and take an example with someone who says, you know, I will invest for 30 years. For 10 years, I will enjoy. I'm ready to invest 20,000 rupees a month. 13 crores. 20,000 rupees a month of investment. Okay, 13 crores. Sometimes people come and say, okay, I will invest for 20 years. I'm ready to invest 40,000 rupees a month. Right? How much? 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakh crore, 5 crores. And finally, this is where 85% of India is as of now. They will invest for 10 years. They will invest 50,000 rupees a month. Right? And then they will say, अब मेरे को बताओ कितने पैसे मिलेंगे. 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakh crore. Only 1 crore rupees. So इस पूरी स्प्रेडशीट से या इस पूरी एक्टिविटी से हमें ये पता लगता है कि फर्क पड़ता नहीं है कि आपको स्टॉक मार्केट समझ में आता है कि नहीं आता. टाइम ये भी फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि आप कितना पैसा इन्वेस्ट करने वाले हो. फर्क ये पड़ता है कि आपने आज इन्वेस्ट करना शुरू किया कि नहीं. Right? Because if I change this entire equation to 0.12, right, it still will show you a drastic difference. 11 crores and 1 crore, 11 crores and 9 crores, 11 crores and 6 crores, 11 crores and 3 crores, even after investing more. और यहाँ पे सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि यहाँ पे आप कम इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो. If you ask me, the total investment you are doing is 10,000 into 12 into 40 years. You're only investing how much? 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakh. Right?
48.
For 40 years. But if you are investing the same amount here, how much are you investing? 60 lakhs. But you're left with 1 crore. Right? So the objective remains highly dependent on how much time are you giving. Right? So generally when I'm talking to people in the hospitality industry, I tell them, it doesn't matter how good a distiller you are. आपको कितनी नॉलेज है अल्कोहल बनाने की, उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. दारू का प्राइस तब बढ़ता है कि वो कितने साल उस लकड़ी के डब्बे में रही है. पैसों के साथ भी ऐसा ही है. Right? So when I come to this equation, what can you manage? You can manage this and you can manage this. This is dependent on what lifespan are you at right now. What is your current age? Right? Now what happens is, the first question is whether you should understand the markets or not. As simple as that. If you don't understand the markets, your net worth is 11 crores. If you understand the markets, your net worth is 31 crores. अब आप डिसाइड कर लो आपको मार्केट समझनी है कि नहीं समझनी. राइट? ये तो फिर भी चलेगा, पर ये डिसाइड करना कि आज इन्वेस्ट करना है कि नहीं करना, वो तो आपको लेना ही पड़ेगा. Right? Otherwise the train is gone. Every year that you waste, you've already lost a lot of opportunity. right? Okay, let's then finally come down to what is left out of all this. I think the only topic left is road to a crore, right? So I don't know how many people want a crore, but if you want a crore, I want you to write crore in the chat box. Just write down 1 crore in the chat box. Okay, I'm still waiting. ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. Okay, 2 crores. Okay, 1 crore. I'm still waiting for the right answer, guys. 10 more seconds. 1 crore again. Okay. That's the right answer. I've put it in the chat box. Right? That's how you should look at it. Okay. So let's just come down and let's just look at how to build 1 crore. Anybody who is willing to do a role play? Anybody who is actively willing to do a role play? कोई है बचपन में जिसको एक्टिंग का बहुत शौक था? Guys,
Vijay is looking very keen.
okay. So
He is very good at acting also.
Digvijay, Ideal has volunteered you now. You are the baton here, right? Okay. Digvijay, be very active. Okay. It'll prove how active you have been throughout the session. Okay. Digvijay, how old are you?
I'm 26.
26. ठीक है. Digvijay, I'm assuming you have 1 crore rupees.
Okay. I'm
है कि नहीं है पहले बता दो.
Digvijay, please come to me.
Digvijay, I'm assuming you have 1 crore rupees.
Hanji.
ठीक है.
I'm also assuming now, and I'm putting my resignation tomorrow.
नहीं सर, वो करना नहीं है. अभी नहीं करना. मैं बताऊंगा. रेजिग्नेशन लिख लो और उस पे डेट डालनी है, वो भी डिस्कस करेंगे बैठ के. ठीक है. I'm sure your promoters are not on this call, so it's okay. You can be as free as you want, right? So Digvijay is 26, and I'm assuming he has 1 crore with him, right? What I'm doing is I'm investing, and I'm assuming Digvijay has learned how stock markets work. 15% का ज्ञान दिग्विजय को है कि 15% मार्केट में हर साल कैसे बनने वाले हैं, वो दिग्विजय ने सीख लिया, right? So there are 2 assumptions, okay? What happens if he has invested 1 crore in the markets for 10 years is it becomes 4 crores.
Okay.
ये 1 करोड़ छुआ नहीं है दिग्विजय अभी हमने, एक भी पैसा नहीं मिला आपको, ये मेरे पास है. मैंने 15% पे ग्रो किया इसको और 4 करोड़ रुपए मिल गए 10 साल. अब आप रिजाइन कर सकते हो, क्योंकि अगर आपने वहां रिजाइन कर दिया तो आपको ये 4 करोड़ नहीं मिलेंगे, फिर आप ये 1 करोड़ खा जाओगे. Right? So now after 10 years you have 4 crores. Now you can resign and do whatever you want to do. By whatever I don't mean that you stop working. By whatever I mean, now you don't have to work for money.
Okay.
Right? Trust me, we all are employees. We all are doing things that we love doing, and we all are doing things that we are asked to do. And because we do things that we are doing, we get to do things that we want to do. There is a huge difference. And trust me, not everyone understands this difference. लोग retire हो जाते हैं और उसके बाद भी नहीं समझ पाते इस difference को. Working and working for money are 2 different levels of life. Right? So from 26 till 36, Digvijay is working. But 36 onwards, he is not working for money. There are very different 2 stages of life. And Digvijay has 4 crores in his pocket. But I am not going to give you 4 crores right now. What I'm going to do is, I am going to give you 2 lakh rupees salary every month after you turn 36.
Okay.
Okay. And for giving you 2 lakh rupees salary every month, I am going to make a fixed deposit, or I'm going to buy an instrument policy, or I'm going to buy a financial policy for 1.8 crore rupees, which will give us 2 lakh rupees for 10 years every month. Okay. What are we left with? We're left with 2 crores 23 lakh rupees. If I invest this 2 crores 23 lakh rupees at your age of 36, at your 46, it becomes 9 crores and some change. Now, because you have done a wonderful job by not spending this 4 crores in 10 years, I'm going to give you an increment of 100% after 10 years. अब आप हर महीने 4 लाख रुपए खर्च कर सकते हो. Okay? Now, because you can spend 4 lakh rupees every month, From 46 to 56, I need to buy a financial instrument for 3.4 crores. Now I'm left with 5.5 crores. By the age of 56, you have 22.5 crores in your net worth. Because you've not spent it for 10 years, I'm going to give you a 100% increase. You can spend 8 lakh rupees every month. By 66, 60, 1 cents, 100, 1,000, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakh, crore, 10 crores, 63 crores. By 76, 199 crores. And by 86, 700 crores.
Compounding.
Absolutely. The power of exponential growth. Right?
8th wonder.
But ठीक है, 0 पे आ जाते हैं. दिग्विजय आज 1 करोड़ है.
नहीं है.
पूरी एक्सेल खराब हो गई. The moment I write 0 here and I hit enter, everything is gone. Right? So what is the first thing that I need?
I need to invest.
You need 1 crore rupees. Invest,
Okay.
rob a bank, marry a girl whose father is able to gift you 1 crore. Your dad transfers 1 crore to your account. You do an amazing work for Ideal and Ideal says, Digvijay ne itna badhiya kaam kiya, 1 crore rupees ka bonus. I don't care what you do, right? But it doesn't happen like that, right? We live in a normal world that is governed by physical laws. So उसमें ऐसा हो नहीं सकता, right?
Right.
The best opportunity is you marry a girl who can give you 1 crore, right? But again, that's also not possible in India generally. So now what happens is, I need to find a hack to be able to get 1 crore very quickly. So what I'm doing is, I am saying, Digvijay, you're 26, you're very young. I will give you 10 years to make 1 crore.
Okay.
It's okay if I have 700 crores by the time I'm 96. If I don't live, it's okay if I have 199 crores by the time I'm 86. 10 साल पीछे चला लूंगा मैं. 46 पे रिटायरमेंट ले लूंगा मैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. वैसे भी दिक्कत 50 के बाद काम करने में होती है, उससे पहले सब काम कर रहे होते हैं. 40s are peaks. From 40 to 50, you're the alpha of your industry, you're the alpha of your company, you're the alpha of your house. 50 के बाद अचानक से पता नहीं क्या होता है लोगों को, and things just flip out. Most of the resignations that happen in any organization are for people who turn 51, 52, 53. अचानक से उनके हाथ से कंट्रोल छूट जाता है और कोई और कंट्रोल में आ जाता है और वो सह नहीं पाते हैं इसको. That is why 51, 52, 53 is maximum people resign. Right? And then they end up in unorganized business sectors and with inconsistent income. Right? So if you have set your safety net by 50, you're good. If you have not set your safety net by 50, it's going to be absolutely disastrous.
Yes.
Right? So now if I'm saying 36 तक काम करो दिग्विजय, 46 तक काम करो, पर 10 साल में 1 करोड़ रुपए अरेंज करो, it's very simple, right? What I want you to do is, because I'm not assuming everybody is great with financial ratios. There is a website called SIP Calculator. It's been since 8 years, the website is same, right? Okay. नहीं, ये वाला नहीं. Here we go. Since 8 years, इस website पे कुछ भी change नहीं हुआ है. ठीक है? Now what I'm doing is, I'm doing 36,000 rupees every month. Now, I don't know how many of you can do this, but you should get closer to this. If your job is not taking care of it, do anything. Do something new. Try something new. Try making videos. Try doing whatever you want to, right? I started doing this, I don't know how many years ago. I think it's been almost 5 years now that I've started doing it. Invest it for 10 years every month and invest it at 15%. It becomes 1 crore. Right? So what I'm assuming is, if for next 10 years, every month, you're able to invest 36,000 rupees, it becomes 1 crore. So by 26 to 36, you will have 1 crore. But then the patience starts. Can you save that money or can you invest that money and not end up using it for next 10 years? By 46, you don't have to do anything else. You're done. I'll take care of you for the rest of your life.
Right.
It's 12 o'clock.
Thank you. That's my laptop. Right? So the ideology behind wealth maximization or the ideology behind this is very simple. Everybody has an income. Everybody pays or plans taxes. Everybody invests. Everybody takes a loan. Everybody spends their money. If I am somehow able to avoid the loan, and if I somehow channelize most of my income into investments, and if investments give returns, and if returns are added back to income, this cycle is repeated for 10 or 20 years. Your life is absolutely going to change. Right? This cycle is called the cycle of wealth maximization. And this sheet is a proof of how wealth maximization actually works. The only loophole of this sheet is you will have to control yourself from spending a lot of money. जिसके पास 1 करोड़ होता है वो सबसे पहले जाके 50 लाख की गाड़ी ले आता है. दिक्कत ये है. Right? So that's it for today. I think I've taken over an hour. I wanted to wrap it up as condensed as possible. So I'm open to any questions that you have out of the any part. And again, you can always connect with Aditya, or you can always connect back to me. And we're happy to do a one-to-one, or we're happy to help you guys on a one-to-one, howsoever or whatsoever it is. So over to you guys. Any
Mr. Emmanuel, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lobo.
Mr. Emmanuel, I'm calling from Mumbai. I just wanted to know in this that.
Okay, is it my internet or did anyone get it?
No, there's something wrong with the speaker's internet.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Possible?
Now I can. Please go ahead.
Yes. Mr. Emmanuel, good afternoon. I'm calling from Mumbai.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, because the presentation was beautiful. I like the presentation a lot. But I just wanted to find out what is the tax implication on that?
Oh, there
because 2 lakhs, 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs are very fantastic things. But is this a net of tax, or on that we'll have to pay tax?
No,
and then what is the implication which will come into us? I mean, what will be the net amount which comes to us?
Sure. So the 2 lakh that comes to us is not income. It is capital gain, right? And capital gain after 10 years is only 10%. So I'm not paying 30% like you are paying right now on your income. I will only pay 10% because it's a capital gain. So tax comes into a picture only when I'm exiting an asset, when I'm booking profits in an asset, right? So I will book profits only to the requirement of what is needed for next 10 years or next 5 years or next 3 years, depending on how comfortable I am in the vision of the market. If I think the markets are going to go up, I will not book my profits. If I think the markets are slightly parallel or that they're slightly going to go sideways, I'll book profits for 5 years. So I'm only paying 10% of the tax on the entire profit I will generate in this entire spreadsheet that we discussed. I hope that answers your question.
That would be, Mr. Emmanuel, per annum?
No, that's 10% whenever you take out the money.
So interest accrued will not will not garner any tax component to that?
It's 10%. Interest accrued.
That's what I said. Interest accrued, that means per annum we'll be charged 10%.
No, we'll not have to.
Am I correct? Or
we have to only pay when we're exiting the asset. When I sell the asset in the market, when the money comes to my bank, I have to pay 10% on the total interest that I have made, on the total profit that I have made.
Okay, so every year there wouldn't be any interest accrued on that account.
No.
Am I correct?
Year, there will not be any tax that I have to pay. There will be unrealized profit. There will be unrealized interest, but I have not booked my profits. There is still a possibility that the money goes down because it's still in the market. The markets might crash tomorrow. The markets might go up tomorrow. Anything can happen to the markets tomorrow. So
okay, so you're investing it into the market or into a instrument, or what exactly? That I was not able to get it because I joined a little late.
Let's go back to the sheet. So if it says market, I'm investing it in the market.
Okay.
If it says bank, I'm putting it in the bank, but there is no interest accrued because I'm only putting 1.8 crores and I'm getting 2 lakh rupees every month.
But on that, because I have a few FTs in the bank, yes, and on whatever interest comes out, the TDS is deducted.
Yes, yes, you will have to pay TDS, and if the interest is added to your income, you will also have to pay 30% tax. If you've
Yes, exactly. That's the problem. That's why I asked you that
But the
question.
objective here, Mr. Logo, is the money that I'm putting in the bank is not because I want the bank to compound my money. I am not asking my bank to compound the money. I am only asking my bank to hold the money that I am needed to spend in next 10 years. The rest of the money is in the market. So if there are 4 crores for Mr. Digvijay at 46 and I withdraw 1.8 crores out of the 4 crores, I will only have to check out of this 1.8 crores what is the principal amounts component and what is the profit component in percentage terms. And I have to pay 10% 10% as taxes on the profit component. That's it.
Basically 10 मतलब 1 करोड़ का 4 हुआ तो 3 करोड़ was the profit and I am taking out the money, तो उस पे 10% का आपको long term gain tax देना पड़ेगा
सर, इसको divide by 4 कर देते हैं, right? तो 45 lakh rupees का ये हुआ था, तो 45 lakh. Now I have to simply do this minus this. Okay, I will have to take it.
Can we come to you on a one-to-one basis, Mr. Emmanuel, sometime later? Because I would like to clarify some more things.
Absolutely welcome to do that.
One more query of mine, Mr. Emmanuel. Is the corpus to start with only 1 crore, or anybody can start below that?
You tell me a corpus. Tell me an amount.
10 lakhs.
10 lakhs?
Yep.
And the entire math changes.
Okay.
Good afternoon. I have a query as well. My name is Anirudh, and I was just trying to figure out whether between 3 choices, a standard hedge fund or a SWP, a standard withdrawal SWP form or a mutual fund, or a bond or any kind of bond where you have a secured bond with a periodic time frame of around 10 years, yielding 10.15 annualized. What would you put in your money in? Exactly. What would you consider a safe bet in this particular scenario of market?
Sir, correct me if I'm wrong. What I'm getting from this is you want a consistent income.
Yes.
Okay. So the best form of consistent income is to buy an annuity.
Okay.
For example, if I want, let's say 2 lakh rupees a month, or I want 1 lakh rupees a month, I think it's 2 crore rupees of annuity that I need to buy. You guys would know better because you're in the insurance. But as a planner, what I do is if a customer comes to me at 40s, at 50s and says, Emmanuel, I want 2 lakh rupees every month, or मेरे को सर दर्द नहीं चाहिए, I will buy him an annuity from an insurance company. Insurance company will take a premium of 1 crore or 2 crores, and till that guy survives, or there are different variations to it.
Annuity is a life insurance angle. I am talking about a bond or a fixed deposit or maybe a SWP angle. Looking at these 3 particular variety.
SWP is the worst way of exiting.
Okay.
Because the problem with SWP is SWP will give you an amount irrespective of where the market is. So if the market is low, it will have a larger outflow of units. So what I'm saying is, let's say, imagine you own 100 homes and you tell me, Emmanuel, you're my manager, I own 100 homes. हर महीने एक घर बेच दे और मेरे को पैसे मेरे अकाउंट में चाहिए. And someday, if the housing market has gone down and I'm not able to transfer you that amount, I will have to sell 2 homes. Right? And that is temporary because the markets will come up. So never go for an SWP option. Always the best thing to do is exit when the markets are high, or plan it as if you're exiting when the markets are high, and buy an annuity. If you do not want to buy an annuity, park it in a bank, park it in a liquid fund, park it in a bond fund, but never go for an SWP option in an equity mutual fund. If you want to go for an SWP option in a debt mutual fund or a bond mutual fund, you can go ahead with it. Then it's okay.
Okay.
One more thing, Mr. Emmanuel, sorry to disturb you once again. If a person who's, am I audible, Mr. Emmanuel?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, if a person is below the age of 26, that presentation of yours I very much like. It's in my mind. From 26 to 36, if you can save 36,000 rupees a month, which roughly calculates to about 4.80 or 4.5 lakhs per month, per annum. If a person below the age of 26 starts that, say from 21, 22, so he still has to go, he or she still has to go till the age of 31, and then the entire benefits are come through.
Let's assume, okay, let's say how old? 21?
21, yeah.
Okay, 21, great. And the first assumption is, does he has 36 to invest every month?
Let's say 20, 25.
Okay, so let's do 20,000.
Okay.
Okay, so now what I'm doing is equal to future value. In rate, I take 15%.
Okay.
Right, and then what I'm saying is number of periods. So I'm okay. So I have to go back and I have to do number of payments. So I'm taking rate as 15% because now we want to know at what age will it become 1 crore, right?
That's right. That's right.
Payment amount as of now is this, and present value is 0, and future value is also, let's say, 1 crore. So I'm doing 1 crore. So ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000, lakh, crore, because I want 1 crore rupees and end of beginning, let's say beginning, right? And I hit enter. So you 30 months. So
30 months. Okay. No, I was thinking of something else. Again, sorry for the interruption.
no, please go
I
ahead.
was thinking of something else. A person who's not able to.
Yeah. So for 13 years, you will have to invest 20,000 to become 1 crore.
13 years.
1 3.
Okay.
13 years.
Okay. 1 3.
It's okay. From 21, if I add 30 years, and then I can go it from there. So by 34, he'll have 1 crore, and then 44, he becomes financially independent, and then it just keeps going.
Mr. Manuel, just two small questions. This 15% per annum is the minimum rate, average rate, or maximum rate?
No, 15% per annum is someone who understands stock markets, is
I
able
see.
to manage the capital in mutual fund equities or directly in the stocks, and has a bandwidth of investing for 3 to 10 years or 3 to 5 years at least.
Okay.
It is not per annum rate. हर साल हमें 15% नहीं मिलेगा. Some year we might make 22%, some year we might make 8%, some year we might make 30%. On an average, if you've invested from 3 to 5 to 10 years, it will give you a yield of 15%.
50. Okay.
But you should understand the market dynamics. If you don't, then 12% is fairly great.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
If you don't, then how much?
12%. 1 2. Yeah. Urmi, you have a question? Your hand is raised, so I'm just wondering. Okay. Great. Guys, anything else?
I'll be getting in touch with you, Mr. Manuel, on a one-to-one basis, because I really love this presentation, but I was not able to connect, and I came in a little late when you were just talking about Mr. Digvijay Sahu, I think, earning a corpus of 1 crore. So I'll get in touch with you a little later, where
Sure.
we can,
Please do.
I can take a lot of advice from you, and if possible, I can go
Most
ahead with you. Thank you very much.
Also, can you please share the SIP calculator? I am unable to see in Google properly.
Okay, it's SIP.
भेजता हूँ तुझे link भेजता हूँ.
Screenshot, take a screenshot.
Just a minute.
So what we do is we will live this video on our YouTube channel, and you can have a look at time, and we will share the link and Excel with you.
Sure.
So Suraj, you said that if we invest with you, the rate of interest that you give is better than banks. That's what you said?
Finally, Urmi is taking a guarantee wala thing now.
Urmi, I hate news reporters. Anyway, I am not making any claims, but what I'm suggesting is, if you understand stock markets, there's always going to be an alpha. Alpha is how much return are you making better than people around you, right? See, we don't need money for ourselves. We need money because everybody in the society is working for money. Because we all will be fighting for the same resources that are available in the ecosystem. I don't need money. I just need dal chawal. My problem is everybody is working for money and ending up buying dal chawal, which is pushing the prices of dal chawal up. Right? So Understanding stock markets give me an edge of earning an alpha, right? First. The second, products in the market that are hidden from you guys. For example, corporate bonds. They're as good as an FD, but they give you more return, right? From the same company. So if you go and buy a fixed deposit from ICICI Bank, or if you go a corporate paper from ICICI Housing Finance, the rate of interest difference is around 50 paisa to 75 paisa per annum.
That's huge.
Right? And over years, it's a lot of money that is lost simply because people don't want to get out of their comfort zone, get out of their relationship managers, and explore the financial products that are available. Right? So I'm not saying invest with us. What I'm saying is get deeper in the markets, get deeper in the financial securities markets. Look at different products before you invest and see, as per your requirement, is there a product available? My job is to understand your problem and give you a solution that is physically possible in the financial system that is right now present in India.
Right. So I do invest in stocks and I do trading and giving good return, but I also invested in ETFs and gold sovereign, which is this good? I mean, ETFs and gold.
The problem with, do you buy gold ETFs?
ETFs and gold sovereign कुछ निकला था money control में.
Sovereign bond. देखो, sovereign bond is a great option, especially for Urmi, because otherwise you will end up buying jewelry. है ना? और ज्वेलरी के साथ क्या दिक्कत है? 22% मेकिंग चार्ज है. और उसके बाद अगर हम problem, I take my sister shopping or I take my mother shopping jewelry. I'm the guy who takes them because if they go alone, they're going to make me bankrupt. Anyways, so when I take them, they will like a jewelry that has stones in it, or they will like a jewelry that has, things in it that are value free, value less, right? Buying jewelry means 22% depreciation of your price right there, because you're paying 22% making. Buying a sovereign bond means you're buying 100% gold. अगर मैं 1 लाख रुपए का ज्वेलरी ले रहा हूँ तो पहले दिन वो 80,000 हो गया जिस दिन मैं उसको मार्केट से घर लेके आया. सोवरेन बॉन्ड में कम से कम लाख रुपए के लाख रुपए आ गए. टैक्स तो कुछ अभी है ही नहीं ना. अभी तो हमने इन्वेस्ट किया है. टैक्स तब लगेगा जब हम बेचेंगे उसको, राइट? वी गेट 2% इंटरेस्ट एवरी ईयर, which I don't know is taxable or not because I have not bought sovereign bonds. I bought gold. I bought gold through MMTC Digital Bank. There is a digital column for, आप Google Pay पे जाओगे तो उसमें भी MMTC buy gold आता है. आप वहाँ पे digitally gold store कर सकते हो. So at around $1,600, we told everybody in the investors club to start buying gold. 1,600 some change dollars. Right now it's around 1,900 if I'm not wrong per ounce, right? So I buy gold there because why I don't buy sovereign bonds is my problem with sovereign bonds is there is a 5, 7 or 9 year lock, 5, 7 year lock in it. आप 5 साल बाद ही उनको रिडीम कर सकते हो. अगर आपको 5 साल के पहले रिडीम करना है आपको वो ओपन मार्केट में सेल करना पड़ेगा. प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि जब आपको वो ओपन मार्केट में सेल करने जाते हो, लिक्विडिटी कम है, तो आपको गोल्ड का प्राइस नहीं मिलता. आपको गोल्ड के प्राइस से कम प्राइस पे उसको सेल करना पड़ता, right? That is my problem with sovereign bonds. But if you have invested and if you have the patience to hold it for 5 years, it's a better instrument than buying jewelry. Because एक तो आपको 100% गोल्ड का मूवमेंट मिलेगा. आज अगर गोल्ड $1,900 का है बिकॉज ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन, अगर वो 5 साल बाद $2,200 का होगा, किसी को बताना मत ये मैंने क्लेम किया है, आई एम जस्ट डूइंग एन assumption, right? $2,200 का होगा, so you get that alpha from $1,900 to $2,200 plus you get 2% every year. So it's better than buying jewelry, but do not sell it before 5 years.
Thank you so much.
It's really good that you're investing in the stock markets, but do not trade in the stock markets because
that's what you said. And
the problem is if I have bought an amazing business and if I sell it at 10% profit, what is the problem? The problem is I will have to go back and find another amazing business. और ज्यादा अमेजिंग बिजनेसेस है नहीं दुनिया में. आज अगर मैं लिस्ट बनाऊं तो 30 से 40 कंपनी है पूरी दुनिया में जिसमें मैं 100% इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाहूंगा, राइट? नेवर सेल अ स्टॉक दैट इज एब्सोल्युटली ग्रेट because the problem is the moment you sell it you're back at ground zero. You will have to find another stock to invest in, right? क्योंकि दिग्विजय को तो 2 ही लाख रुपए मिलेंगे हर महीने. लुई वुइटन का बैग तो ले ही नहीं सकता वो बेचारा जाके, चाहे 4 करोड़ रुपए पड़े हो बैंक अकाउंट में. Right?
True.
Okay, great. Any other questions, guys?
तो हम लोग ये सब इधर उधर इन्वेस्ट करने के अलावा डायरेक्टली निफ्टी 50 नहीं खरीद सकते क्या हर महीने या हर
12% मिलेगा हर साल, बिल्कुल खरीद सकते हो।
अगर नॉलेज नहीं है तो
ट्रस्ट मी, खरीदना भी निफ्टी 50 चाहिए। मैं तो कहता हूँ निफ्टी 50 छोड़ो, निफ्टी 500 खरीदना शुरू करो, वो ज्यादा अच्छा रिटर्न देगा। अगर निफ्टी 50 12% देगा तो निफ्टी 500 आपको 13 13.5 तक दे देना चाहिए 10 साल के होराइजन में।
And what about bitcoins, cryptocurrencies?
बहुत सिंपल है ना, मतलब
खरीदो खरीदो
we all are adults, right? We all are adults, right? We cannot fall in love with someone without going on a date, right? In the same way, we don't know if Bitcoin is good or bad without investing in it, and the economy is still trying it out. So what I have done is very simple. I have not bought it on my name because I cannot. It's not under my purview of being a financial expert. What I do is I have bought 1% of my total investable capital. मतलब जब दिग्विजय 46 के होंगे और जब इनके पास 4 करोड़ रुपए होंगे तो 4 करोड़ का 1% के हम 2-3 क्रिप्टो करेंसीज लेके छोड़ देंगे अगले 10 साल के लिए। क्या होगा, जीरो हो जाएगा, ज्यादा क्या फर्क पड़ता है। 2 लाख की जगह 1,80,000 रुपए देना शुरू कर देंगे हर महीने।
लॉटरी है
इट्स अ लॉटरी टिकट, बट इफ इट टर्न्स आउट राइट यू शुड एटलीस्ट because it's a lottery. Because you're ready to lose the 1 rupee that you're investing, the minimum reward should be 10 rupees. ऐसा तो हम स्टॉक्स के साथ भी करते हैं। जब ऐसे स्टॉक्स आ जाते हैं जो हमें समझ नहीं आते कि इनके साथ क्या होने वाला है, पर प्रोस्पेक्ट्स बहुत अच्छे होते हैं, we buy them and we leave them forever, right? So my confidence in a financial instrument is subjected to how much percentage of capital am I allocating to it. So right now, 96% of my entire net worth is directly linked to Indian stock markets. It simply means in my age, with my risk appetite, I am very confident about the Indian business ecosystem. Right? So my confidence in Bitcoin is 8%. 100 रुपए में से 1 रुपए में लगा सकता हूँ। My confidence है मेरा।
Right.
Okay.
उर्मी, आपको बस बता दे रहा हूँ मैं, दिग्विजय को भी पता है, आदित्य हम लोग से महीना में 100 से ज्यादा कोट लेता है। आपको पैसा बनाना है तो बता दीजिए मेरे को, मैं आदित्य को 1 कोट का 5 रुपए चार्ज करूंगा, महीना का 200 कोट दूंगा उसको, तो बस ऐसे ही बन जाएगा हमारा काम। दिग्विजय सही बोल रहा हूँ ना?
हाँ
तुम हर जगह बस अपॉर्चुनिटीज खोजते हो ना, कैसे?
अभी इमैनुअल जी से सीखा है मैंने।
Absolutely right, Vijay. But
नहीं मैनुअल जी से क्या सीखा, वो तो कुछ बेच ही नहीं रहे। मैंने तो अभी तक पूरा प्रेजेंटेशन देखा, वो तो एक बार भी कुछ बेचा ही नहीं उन्होंने।
सर मेरा
तरीका बताया ना पैसा बढ़ाने का, तो फिर ये भी थॉट आया मन में।
मेरा काम बेचना है ही नहीं सर, मैं आदित्य का काम है वो। एनीवेज, शौजी बहुत सिंपल है। अगर कोट निकालना हाई इनकम स्किल हो जाए तो हम हर कोट पे पैसे कमाएंगे। अभी प्रॉब्लम क्या है, जो शौजी कोट निकाल सकते हैं ना, वो आज की डेट में हर बंदा जिसके पास लैपटॉप है और जिसके पास इंश्योरेंस कंपनी की टिकट है वो कोट निकाल सकता है।
राइट,
करेक्ट, ये पॉइंट।
The moment you can take out quote for something that no one else can, you can charge per quote. जैसे अपना कोट क्या होता है, डॉक्टर का प्रिस्क्रिप्शन ही तो है। हम डॉक्टर के पास प्रॉब्लम लेके जाते हैं, वो कुछ भी लिख के दे देता है और 500 रुपए ले लेता है। लोग हमारे पास प्रॉब्लम लेके आते हैं, हम कार इंश्योरेंस कुछ भी लिख के दे देते हैं जो पीछे से होता है, और हम पैसे नहीं ले पाते उसके। राइट? The objective is focus on a high income skill. Even if you're an employee, even if it does not matter कि आपके आज जो आप काम कर रहे हो उससे directly correlated है कि नहीं है, focus on a high income skill. Like I'm saying, digital media is a high income skill. Understanding stock markets is a high income skill. Right? Copywriting is a high income skill. If you go and Google high income skills, एक list आती है 10-15 चीजों की। Sales is a high income skill. आप हमेशा देखोगे इंश्योरेंस कंपनी में सबसे ऊपर कौन होता है? सेल्स वाले। क्यों होते हैं? क्योंकि धंधा चली उनकी वजह से रहा है, बेचारों की वजह से।
अरे सेल्स वाले।
बट सबसे ज्यादा गाली भी सेल्स वाले को ही पड़ती है।
सर लोगों सर वो तो मतलब वो तो किस्मत का वो है ना, अब क्या कर सकते हैं।
with great
From
power.
every department. Finance will fire you. Your boss will fire you.
Exactly.
Your production will fire you. Inventory will fire you. HR will fire you. Any problem in finance, pulling marketing and sales have not collected properly.
Absolutely, sir. And
So
what shows that the entire organization is dependent on you.
Yes, that's correct.
And that's your
very
upper
correct.
hand. Trust me, sales guys, especially in our industry, are the fighter pilots of the Indian Air Force. एयर चीफ मार्शल कुछ नहीं कह सकता उनको, वो तो ठीक है, हायरार्की है तो हमें फॉलो करना पड़ता है, हायरार्की है तो हम सुन लेते हैं जो वो कहते हैं.
अब आंसू आ जाएगा इमैनुअल, अब मैं रो दूंगा, कोई तो समझ रहा है.
विशाल का एक्सप्रेशन क्या होगा, जरा दिखाना, कहाँ है?
राइट. सो
क्या वीडियो ऑन कर,